vast, profound, and unpredictable. For millions of years, the ocean has possessed a majestic beauty, a deep blue expanse stretching to the horizon, where the boundary between water and sky seems blurred in the hazy light of cloudy days. On the surface, towering, white-crested waves surge, their white foam shattering, creating a chaotic yet magnificent visual spectacle. It is at the very edge of this natural world that human presence emerges, not in insignificance, but as a colossal mechanical structure, a testament to the desire to conquer nature. A commercial fishing vessel, its thick steel hull painted white and pale blue, cuts through the waves, its surface a testament to time and harshness. Peeling paint and streaks of dark orange rust crisscross the cold metal. Not a single inscription, number, or brand logo is present on this colossal block of steel. It is a pure machine, bearing the scars of thousands of sea voyages, a naked mechanical entity facing the power of nature. Seawater constantly crashes against the sides of the ship, creating streaks of white foam clinging to the thick black rubber on either side. The contrast between the durability of the rusted steel and the relentless movement of the water creates an overwhelming visual rhythm. Behind the ship, a tremendous pulling force is at work. Thick black iron chains, interwoven with pale yellow and green synthetic ropes, are taut as if about to snap, under the influence of an immense weight hidden deep beneath the water's surface. Each link strains, pressing against the steel grooves on the deck. The tension of the pulling system transforms into straight lines, cutting diagonally across the frame, firmly anchored to the massive mechanical winches. Moving smoothly across the waterlogged, steel surface are the Asian fishermen. They are the most vibrant splashes of color amidst the otherwise cold gray of metal and sea. Their bright orange, deep red, reflective yellow, and dark blue PVC waterproof suits move continuously, rhythmically, and decisively. Like the ship itself, their attire is completely devoid of any branding, with no superfluous details other than wide black safety belts tightly encircling their chests and white or yellow helmets protecting their heads. Their hands are covered in thick, bright red or jet black rubber gloves, gripping tightly onto the cables worn smooth by friction. Their black rubber boots press firmly against the rough, steel deck, where seawater constantly seeps in and out through small holes. Their muscular movements were evident in every lean, every posture as they pulled the ropes, every long stride as they traversed the tangled mass of iron chains on the ship's deck. Under the dazzling daylight reflecting from the water's surface, or in the diffused light of cloudy days, the folds of their soaking, wet waterproof suits gleamed, creating a realistic sense of depth. They worked tirelessly, a perfect coordination between small individuals and a colossal mechanical system, all for a single purpose: to bring the ocean's treasures to the surface. This spectacular moment of the fishing trip began to unfold as the water behind the ship started to churn. The white foam was no longer just from the cutting of waves, but was being torn apart by a colossal mass rising from the abyss. A massive expanse of green netting, mixed with dark brown sections, gradually broke through the tension of the sea. Its size was so great that it overshadowed even the surrounding waves. This was no longer an ordinary net. It was a floating island, a colossal, dense mass containing thousands upon thousands of tons of silverfish. The green netting was stretched to its absolute limit, the mesh openings wide to reveal countless layers of silver, gray, and pale blue fish scales crammed together inside. Under the influence of mechanical force and immense weight, the entire mass of netting formed a gigantic cylinder stretching across the waves. Enclosing this colossal mass of netting was a boundary marked by bright yellow spherical plastic buoys. Hundreds of golden buoys are strung together on a sturdy synthetic cable, forming an extremely sharp diagonal line against the dark sea. The geometric structure of the golden buoy line contrasts sharply with the chaotic, turbulent white foam and the movement of millions of fish scales within the net. Each buoy, soaked with water, reflects the sunlight into dazzling points of light. The boundary of the golden buoys not only keeps the net afloat, but also serves as a dividing line between two worlds: the vast, deep ocean outside, and a masterpiece of industrial harvesting inside. On the ship's deck, the fish catch receiving process begins with the operation of massive winches and cranes. A gray, rusty, and water-glued steel winch rotates slowly. A huge roller reel winds around a green cable, tensioning the entire pulley system. A light gray metal scoop, shaped like a giant basket, is slowly lowered to the sea by a white crane system. The gray basket sinks deep into the swirling green net, submerging itself in the middle of the silvery fish. When it is pulled up, seawater pours down like a downpour, leaving behind a dense mass of fresh fish. The metal basket hangs suspended in midair, suspended above the pristine white deck. Asian fishermen in red and orange uniforms carefully use long poles to guide the giant machine into the correct position at the hopper opening. And then, the visual explosion occurs. The bottom of the basket opens, and a waterfall of marine life cascades down. Tens of thousands of fish, clad in silver, gray, and dark blue scales, pour in like a metallic avalanche. They slide down gray steel chutes, creating a thick, shimmering stream. The friction between their wet bodies The overlapping of millions of scales reflecting the light creates a complex, tangled visual structure with perfect rhythm. The fish quickly fill the entire enormous chamber, piling up into small, glittering mountains. Layer after layer of fish pressed down, sliding and settling. A system of cold, gray steel conveyor belts and chutes encloses this massive mass of organic matter, creating an iconic industrial scene where ocean life is gathered within an angular, mechanical framework. There were no symbols or inscriptions on the funnel's surface, only a smooth, polished steel surface, scratched from friction and covered in seawater, reflecting the gray light of the sky. As the harvest reached its peak, a shift in visual scale occurred with the appearance of a new ship. No longer a rusty, white-blue block of steel, the vessel was now a modern, gleaming machine with a hull painted in a striking, deep blue. The cabins and upper deck structures were pristine white, clean and flawless. Remarkably, this colossal structure was completely blank. Not a single number, name, or symbol distracted its solid metal surface. It stood like an anonymous, cold ruler, cutting through the ocean waves. The deep blue of the hull created a stark contrast with the white foam it tore apart on either side. Along the ship's sides, the silver fish island continued to cling to it, restrained by a strip of interwoven yellow and white buoys. From a bird's eye view, the entire scene resembles an artistic installation of industrialization, a perfect block of blue and white metal, a dazzling golden outline, a deep, white pool of sea foam, and a shimmering silver texture of millions of ocean creatures. The crane system on this blue and white ship is also a marvel of engineering. Its large, sturdy white arms repeatedly guide the enormous gray basket in an invisible trajectory, down to the water's surface, into the fish island, up into the air, dripping seawater, and finally dumping it onto the deck. Asian fishermen in dark uniforms, accented with red and gold, steadfastly hold their strategic positions. They are small compared to the crane system, yet they are the precise control centers, keeping this industrial cycle running smoothly without a moment's deviation. The repetition of this process does not create boredom. On the contrary, it builds a hypnotic visual rhythm. The first time, the basket empties a cascade of silver fish. The second time, a similar mass pours into the hold. The third, the fourth, the fifth, endless and relentless. Each time the steel basket opens, sunlight is reflected through millions of tiny natural prisms from the fish scales. The structure of the mountain of fish on the deck constantly changes shape. From sharp peaks, they slide and spread out, filling every nook and cranny of the steel hold. The surface of the pile of fish is a blend of countless shades. Dazzling silver where light hits, pale gray in the hidden parts, and jet black from the eyes and interwoven fins. A dense, slippery, and absolutely reflective surface. High above, flocks of white-feathered seagulls continuously soar and circle around the fish island and the ship's hull. The rhythmic movement of the seagull's wings against the gray sky creates a soft contrast. A complete opposition to the angular harshness of the pulley system, iron chains, and cranes. Throughout this entire journey, from the rusty old ship to the modern blue and white machinery, from the yellow buoys to the green nets, the presence of commerce is completely stripped away. The picture is left with only three main entities: the immense power of the sea, the grandeur of industrial machinery, and the anonymous resilience of Asian fishermen. The absence of written language or brand logos makes the scale of this harvest primitive and pure. It emphasizes the volume, the color, the surface texture, and the physical weight of one of humanity's greatest exploits on the ocean. Each wave crashing against the ship's hull, each turn of the giant winch, each drop of water falling from the gray basketball are painting a perfect picture of movement. There, the silvery island of fish finally melts into a river of light, flowing deep into the heart of the nameless steel machine, completing a fierce, magnificent, and beautiful cycle of seafaring. Deep within the colossal steel chamber, a spectacular transformation of matter was silently taking place. The dazzling silverfish, once swirling in the green nets and writhing amidst the white foam, now slid along the immaculate white steel conveyor belts. Under the cold, sharp light of the industrial lighting system, tens of thousands of wet fish bodies were gradually frozen. The chaos of millions of slippery, interwoven scales solidified completely, taking shape into rectangular blocks of ice. The cold air rose in thick, white mist, swirling across the undulating aluminum floor. The frozen fish blocks piled upon each other in countless towering, absolutely motionless walls. The entire space transformed into a colossal storage facility, a cold geometric realm, forever imprisoning the primordial silver of the ocean. Back on the deck, the brilliant light of the sun began to fade on the horizon. The natural light faded, giving way to the dazzling white of industrial searchlights emanating from the top of the mast. Each sharp beam cut through the thick fog and salt spray, and the lingering foam in the air. The dark blue ship, still utterly anonymous without a single inscription, number, or symbol, stood proudly, cutting through the waves and heading straight into the pitch-black night. The figures of Asian fishermen in their red and orange protective suits faded into the metallic shadows, leaving only the flickering reflective strips of light that swayed with the undulating waves of the ocean. In the boundless expanse, the colossal machine slowly shrank, carrying within it hundreds of tons of glittering treasures. The great battle of muscle power, machinery, and nature came to an end.